Hello, and welcome to the live where I reveal my brand new mini course, free mini course that I will be teaching in about 2 weeks from now. And this is the energetics of scaling. So I'm so excited about this because the way that I see it and the way that it's really dropped in is this is a conversation about scaling your business, but it is the magical Delulu mermaid energetics side of things. Okay. When you're scaling your business, there is a duality. There's what you're doing. There's the actual steps, the actual offers, the actual product suite that is going to carry your business into new heights. There's the sales strategy, right? You might be running ads. There might be a difference in the way that your team is going to look, right? Your team is going to expand. There's going to be all of these things on a structural level that is going to scale your business. I'm taking you into the depths of Delulu land. I'm taking you to the energetics side. I'm taking you to the magic, to the adventure, let's go on adventure, because this is the truth of it, okay? The deep truth of this is that in order for you to uncover the structural pieces, the steps that are going to bring you into your next level, they are on the other side of the magical Delulu land. It's like your steps are here, and in order to get here, you have to go through wherever, right? You have to go through the energetics first. It's not either or, it is in what order. Because let's just put it this way. If you start with the steps, then you're just looking at somebody else's proven method. It worked really well for this person. They're extremely wealthy. You see that they're happy in their life. You're like, I would love that, right? But that's not your way. And there might be things from their experience that you want to learn from and that you want to emulate in some way. Perfect, right? But when you're just starting, you jump, you take a plane to structural land over here. That's like, it's going to tell you all the steps. It's going to tell you the proven framework. It's going to tell you that you need to do this and hire these people and run this and set up this and these funnels. Like, it's going to tell you all the things to do, but it's not going to have any of the solidified frequency of anchoring in that deeper inner work of who you are and who you came here to be. The energetics, the magic, right? That happens in Delulu Magic Land. So we do have to go through this in order to get to the steps, because then the steps will just be actions you think you need to take or actions that somebody else took. And in order to create a similar level of success, you must also follow those same steps. But the thing is, if you're listening to this live, if you've come across my work and my page, we don't just do things based off of logic and reason and practicality. You're here because you believe the spirit of your business chose you. Out of all of the millions of people in the world, it chose you. So you're not here to be a carbon copy of somebody else's proven scale. You're here to scale your business in your own way with the legacy that you are here to create on your own, right? This is the power, the joy, the uniqueness that is going to expand the way that you show up and scale, the way that you do it, the way that you are meant to do it, because you were chosen. This is what you were chosen to do, right? So your experience of scaling is going to be very different than anybody else. Your experience of growing your business, because scaling is you growing exponentially. It is an exponential growth. It is like a time collapse, right? And the way I see scaling your business is it magnifies what you're already experiencing. So if you're scaling, hoping to feel fulfilled by the end of getting to the end of the scale, but you're not fulfilled as you're scaling, it's not going to give you something that you don't already have, right? It is going to exponentially stretch what is already there. So anything that's already there just gets magnified to the nth degree. And so your work is to identify and to bring in and to anchor in these emotions, this frequency of I am fulfilled now, and I am joyful right now. And I love where I am right now. And I love my business where I am right now. It's not that down the line, once I've scaled, once I've made this amount of money, because then there's always a clause. It's like, when I get there, then I'll feel. When I experience, then I'll be happy. When I hit this milestone, then I'll feel successful, right? But we have to actually scale what we're experiencing in that given moment. So if you're feeling joy, groundedness, you're present in your business, this is what is scaling, right? This is you scaling the deep truth, because scaling happens at the depths of your business, of your identity, of who you are, right? Scaling magnifies the truth. So I'm going to just drop this in here really quick. DM me the word energetics for the link to register for energetics of scaling. And you can DM me anytime. Anytime. If you're listening to this on the podcast, if you're listening to this as a replay of this live stream, you can DM me anytime. The link will also be in the link in my bio. It'll also be in the show notes. So anytime you see this, and even after we've started, you can jump in. So just make sure you DM me energetics. I will get you the free link. This is a multi-day mini course. And this is probably one of the very few I'm going to be running this year. Which is also why I decided to make it a full-on mini course and not just one class, right? Okay, so what I was saying is scaling happens at the depths. It happens at the depth of your business, and it happens at the depth of your inner being, your core, right? And what I mean by that is the theme that came through for this, and I'm going to go into it later, is the deep ocean. And you're going to see on the graphic, it's really beautiful. There's like a shimmery mermaid aesthetic that honestly dropped in, that I chose this theme before I had completely different notes for the modules for this program. And I woke up, I actually posted this to my stories a couple days ago. I woke up and I just felt like it needed to be a little different. And then I ended up channeling 40 minutes. I normally don't speak. I normally just write it out. When I write out notes, when I'm channeling things, like whatever, things come to me, I normally just write it out. But this time I spoke into my phone for 40 straight minutes. I have a channel. This is a hack, by the way. If you don't already do this, I highly recommend it. I have a channel that is just myself on Telegram, and that's where this channeled through. For 40 straight minutes, I channeled all the pieces of this mini course. And so the theme of this mini course for the energetics of scaling is you're meeting yourself at the depths of who you are and the depths of your business, right? So the theme is the deep ocean, and the mermaids, and the depth of who you are, the depth of the magic and the delusion. Like, this is the delusional magic energetics side of scaling. We're not going to be really going into your product suite. We're not really going to be going into all the sales strategies, because I believe you have to go through the Delulu magic land first. in order for your steps to arrive, in order for your steps to reveal themselves, in order for your unique way of scaling to come to you. Because it's not going to look like someone else. It's not going to look like your mentors. And it's not going to look like your peers that started their business the same time as you. They're going to have their own way, and you're going to have your own way. And so this isn't about a proven process. This is not about steps that someone took or wrote in a book or teaching you, because you can't just start at the steps. The steps are here. The steps are there, right? It's not about, do I lean into the energetics or do I lean into the structure? You're leaning into both. But what order are you doing it in? Are you starting with the steps of like, just tell me what to do, right? Are you starting here or are you starting here? That is the difference. Because if you're just starting with like, tell me what to do, what are the steps, what are the process, then you're copying and pasting, but you're not actually anchoring in the frequency and the identity and the depth, right? The deep ocean, okay? You're not anchoring in the depth of who you need to be in order for the steps and the actions and all the things that you're going to have to do and take action on in your business, in your product suite, in your offers, in your sales, in your messaging, in your team, in your leadership. All of that is going to reveal itself after you go through the Delulu magic energetics land, because scaling inherently is not even logical. Why are we trying to apply logic to something that's not even logical, right? This is not a logical way of seeing things. Anyone who's scaled a business can tell you that. There are going to be points of them building their business where they're going to be like, I don't know. I don't know how that happened. I just genuinely believed that it would, right? And that is the frequency. That is the energetics. That is not, I took step 1 and step 2 and step 3 and I got to step 4 and now I'm done, right? It is not a process where it's like, this is exactly what you do when you get to the end line, because if it was, then we would all be multi-millionaire entrepreneurs. Everyone would be here. Everyone will have achieved this. But it is the fact that we have to build this and we have to meet ourselves at the depths of who we are. And that's why you see a lot of business owners, they'll come in and they're new and they're excited. And then after a couple of years, you don't hear from them anymore. Or the time that you started your business, you look and people aren't doing the same. They're not around anymore. You go and check on them. Like, I started my business in early 2020. And before then I was a blogger for about 4, 5, 6 years. I started in like 2014 and then I started my business in 2020. So yeah, 6 years of being a blogger, and now I've been 6 years of being an entrepreneur. So I started in 2014, and I can tell you that the people I started my business with and the people who I was blogging with here in the Bay Area, like a lot of them they're not around anymore, right? And one of the biggest reasons for this is a lot of us lack staying power, right? So when things get really hard, our first instinct is to run. Can't do this anymore. I'm throwing in the towel. This is too difficult. I'm not cut out for this. Our brain is wired to keep us safe. So we get to a certain point where we're like, okay, I can do this. Okay, I can do this. And we hit a point where like, I can't do this, right? And I just hit one of those limits like 2 weeks ago. And I processed all of the emotion. I cried on my couch multiple times. I called my coach. Like I know that I have the capacity to move through extremely hard things. And I know that every single one of us has the capacity to do this, because we've all walked through extremely challenging things in our life and in our business. And so when we can apply that into our capacity, into the levels, because it's just going to be levels and levels and levels and levels. And it's not even going to necessarily be lots of different things. It's going to be similar things that you're coming up against, just at bigger levels. So when I talk about scaling, the reason why this is going to only apply for a small percentage of people, and you will know if you are one, right? It's probably not going to apply to all your friends and all of your family. It's probably not going to apply to most of the people that you meet down the street, right? Like we're a very rare group of people And that's a beautiful thing. Not everyone's gonna think this way, and they don't have to. We don't all need to be this way, but the people who are already this way, and you've known from a very young age that you are a visionary, you're a creative, you see things differently, you're multidimensional. There's all of these evolutions and aspects of you and the duality of you, right? So scaling, even for the very, very logical bro marketing type leaders that have built their businesses to like 10 million, 50 million, 100 million, whatever it is, there is a point where they attribute pieces of their scale to the energetics, to the magic. And if you look for it, you will always see it. Now, they might be teaching a proven formula, but that is just what came after, right? Just like I said earlier, the scaling is over here, but in order to get there, you have to go through the Delulu Magic Land. You have to go through it. You have to experience it. You've got to get the t-shirt, say that you've done it, get a souvenir, and then you can go into the steps and into what you're going to do and what exactly that's going to look like and what exactly is your services, your product suite, how it's going to look, right? So with any business, with any level of expansion, because scaling is expansive, it is the biggest level of expansion. And expansion is expanding who you already are. So when you understand this, you then know that who you are has to be solid. Because when we get to the point of the scale and the steps and the action, you already want to be the biggest version of yourself. Because what happens when we run straight to the steps? What do I do? What do I scale? How do I scale? What's my offer suite? How do I run my team? How do I build my team? How do I? When we're asking all these how questions, we're jumping straight into the steps, straight into the masculine and the action. And when we jump straight there, right? When we're like, tell me, how do I? What do I do? What do I sell? These are all actions. And again, it is not this or that. It is in what order? Are you jumping straight to the action steps? Because if you're jumping straight into the action steps, you're expanding this version of you that is looking for the answers in a way where you're hoping the steps will give you something. Where you're hoping that the action will make you feel more successful. Or there must be something on the other side of the actions. The actions are going to give me a feeling. So if I take this action, then I will feel more successful. This is our thinking, right? If I take this action, then I will be known. If I take this action, then I will be where I want to be. Where I want to be on the other side of this, on the other side of the scale, right? That's what happens when we go straight for the action. But when we can stop and we can spend time in the energetics of who you're being and your identity and how you feel, then when you take action, you're not taking action in hopes to feel something. You already feel that thing. So the feeling actually amplifies what you're doing. Do you see this? So let me give you an example. Let's say I'm hoping to feel more fulfilled. And in order to do that, I know I want to scale my business, and I'm thinking that scaling my business is going to make me more fulfilled. And I see someone else who's scaled their business and they have a membership and they have a mastermind and they have one-on-ones. So let's just say I already have one-on-ones, I'm building the membership, and I'm going to launch a mastermind, right? So you take the steps that you think you need to take in order to create what you think is going to give you fulfillment, joy, satisfaction. But because you're hoping that these things are going to give you something you don't already have, you're waiting for it to show up. So you launch the membership, you launch the mastermind, you continue selling the one-on-ones. This is the formula in which you think is going to get your business to scale. You've seen people who have thousands of people in their membership. You've seen people run high-level masterminds at really high ticket. So you think that that's the right way to go. So you price your mastermind really high, you try to run ads and get as many people into the membership, and you're waiting around hoping to feel fulfilled. But then when people aren't joining or they're trickling in at a slower pace than you would like, and your business isn't scaling at the rate that you wanted to, you start wondering and looking around and asking, why am I not feeling fulfilled? Why am I not feeling satisfied? I took the steps. I did what this other person did. They look like they're satisfied. They've got tons of people in there. What's going wrong here? So instead of, again, choosing to see it as an energetics thing, we think that there just needs to be more action. So we run more ads and we launch even more and we sell even more and we put out even more content and we go again and again and again and again and we try to go harder. But that's not actually the root issue. So the more we try to go, the more that we're hitting up against exhaustion. We're exhausted, right? And then so we're looking at it from the wrong lens. We're looking at it from the lens of like, but someone else did it and I followed the steps and they had a mastermind and they had a high ticket on their mastermind and they had a membership and they've got all these people in this membership and I've done everything I can to bring people in and I've done the ads and I'm pushing harder and harder and harder and harder and I'm more and more exhausted, but maybe that's just like one of the aspects that I have to work through. So then you start trying to deal with the exhaustion, but you're not actually dealing with the root of it, which is, again, coming back to the energetics. You never actually did any of this rooted in the frequency that you want to feel. None of this was done through the lens of satisfaction. It was all done hoping to bring you satisfaction. It was all done thinking that if I follow these steps, then I will be satisfied. And then we try to, if we don't even see it as an energetics thing, we just see it as like, well, it's not working. What more do I need to do? And this is where people burn themselves out on the way to scale. This is where people exhaust themselves on the way to scaling. This is where people come up against the wall again and again and again and again because they're thinking that they're doing the wrong thing. And then sometimes, like, let's just take that example of that product suite. They think that, okay, you know what? Maybe it's the membership, right? Maybe memberships are dead and people don't join memberships, which, by the way, like every couple of years I hear things like that, even from when I first started my business in 2020. Courses aren't selling anymore. Memberships aren't a thing. People don't buy this and that. What people? Who are these people? Who people? My people will buy what I sell because I'm co-creating with the spirit of my business and God. And at the end of the day, it really isn't about exactly what structure it's in. It's, do they feel drawn to enter your space and learn from you? Because if that is a yes, they will join anything. If there's someone I want to learn from and there's something that they have, I'm joining that something that they have. It doesn't matter really what the structure is looking like. And oftentimes there's tiers. So I will join the highest level tier because that is the kind of person that I am. Okay. So going back to what I was saying, we will sometimes try to change the products. Okay, maybe it's because it's a membership. Maybe it needs to be turned into a course. Maybe it's because it's a course and it needs to be turned into a program. Maybe it's a program and it needs to be more of a mastermind style or an all access kind of style. Like, these are the things that we get so caught up in, and we will look any which way instead of looking at the energetics of it. And the energetics of it is, were you satisfied when you were launching and selling? Were you in your joy? Did this bring you a level of joy and satisfaction and happiness? Because if it did not, it will not give it to you sometime down the road. It will not give it to you after the fact. And this is what I'm talking about, is a lot of us look at the steps we can take, hoping the steps and the action will give us a feeling. If I take these steps, then I'll be satisfied. But what I'm teaching inside the energetics of scaling, inside the Delulu Magic Land, is when you go through Delulu Magic Land, you are in the experience of the energetics first. So that feeling that you're hoping to experience, it's already there. And because it's already there, then the right, correct, aligned step for you to take reveals itself. It's like when you're playing a video game, and in order to get to like the gray shaded land, you've got to go through this first area and you've got to unlock something first. You got to like collect the coins. You got to find the treasure. You got to kill one of the bosses in order to unlock the land and go into that next area. That's what I'm talking about here. The energetics is what you unlock first. You get into the depths. You meet yourself at the depths of who you are. Okay? This is the deep sea. This is the ocean. You go into the depths, and when you go further and further and further down, you reach the treasure. You reach the treasure that nobody else can touch, because you decided to not just suntan on the beach, on the sand, and watch all the people. You're getting in, and you're not just getting on a surfboard and being, you're not just like getting hit by the waves. You're going into the depths of the water. You're going all the way in. You are free diving. You are discovering what only a percentage of the population has discovered, right? And when you're doing that, you're going into the depths of the ocean. You're going to experience what other people have not been able to experience. And nobody expects this of you, by the way. Nobody expects you to go and free dive in the ocean. Nobody expects people to go and climb Mount Everest. Nobody expects someone to go and win at the Olympics. But when you feel that it's something that you must do, and you are so committed to it, and you are so excited by it, you are so lit up about it, that you can't stop yourself, but you know, you're in your body, in your mind, it is this energy of, I need to know. I need to know what's in the depths of the ocean. I need to know what the top of Mount Everest looks like. I need to know what feeling like winning gold at the Olympics feels like. I need to know what it feels like to finish that marathon. I need to know. I need to hike to the top of this trail because I need to see the view. I need to experience what it's going to be like. And you do it through this energy of, I am happy to be here. This is what I'm here to do. I am committed. I'm convicted. I am powerful. This is what I came here to experience. In my one life, I am not just spending the entire time sitting on the sand far away from the depths of the ocean and just hoping to not sink, hoping to not die, hoping to just not experience any hardship. So I'm not even going to try. I'm not actually living. I'm just hoping to not die. Like, I'm just hoping to not fall or drown or sink. I don't want any of that. I'm just going to stay all the way over here where I know that I'm safe. But what actually happens over there? Not much. Not much happens. You get a tan. You get kind of burnt. Get a little sleepy because you've been under the sun for too long. You're watching people get in the ocean. You pack up your things after you read a book for a little while, and then you go home. And sometimes we need that. And sometimes that's beautiful. But I know for the people who are listening to this and actually desiring to experience life on a completely different realm, that is not enough. It's not enough for them. They want to know what's at the depths of the ocean. You want to know what's at the depths of the ocean. You want to see how far you can go. You want to see how big you can be in this one lifetime. And that is why sitting on the sand with a book under an umbrella and never getting your toes wet is just not going to cut it for you. It's not enough for you. It's not enough. You don't want that life. You don't want to be there, right? It would start eating at you after a while. And so instead of consistently asking ourselves, what is going to happen if I don't get what I want, if I fall, if I fail, if I sink, all the possibilities that our imagination comes up with that tells us that it's all going to fall apart, that it's not safe, that it's not available for us, we're shifting it just slightly. We're using our beautiful imagination that's given us to us by God, and instead of using it for all of the what if, and what if I fall, and what if I sink, what if I'm not cut out for this, you go into the depths of the ocean and you go, what if I find treasure? What if I find gold? What if I unlock mysteries of the universe? Did you know that most of the ocean is undiscovered? There are species down there. There's probably cities down there. There's probably so much down there that we have no idea about because most people are not willing to travel down into the depths of the ocean. And this is the thing, when you're able to withstand the depths of yourself and your business and your identity and the energetics, you are rewarded at every single level. But if you're always at the surface and you're getting your tan on and you're under the umbrella and you're safe, you're on your blanket, you have your suntan lotion on, you're not doing anything. You're not actually risking anything. The bigger the risk, the bigger the reward. What are you willing to risk it all for? You have this one life. And I know that if you're anything like me, one of your worst fears is getting to the end of your life and meeting the person that you could have been if you decided to go bigger. If you decided to take the risks. If you decided to swim into the depths of the ocean. If you decided to say yes and feed into the, well, what if it all worked out? Instead of feeding the, what if I fall? And what if it doesn't work? Because then you become a completely different version of you. And I know that for me and for my clients, that is something that keeps us up at night. Meeting the person you could have been in this lifetime. If you weren't held back by all of the what ifs, right? Like, this is why the clients I work with, we work together long term. Like, it's years and years and years and years of growth and evolution because they continue saying yes to the biggest versions of themselves. And on the other side of that, in the depths of that, is a level of unexplainable magic growth. Because this is the magical Delulu land. Like, this is it. This is the energetics. There are no steps here. There is no process here. You lean in, you trust yourself, you go. And on the other side of it, you reveal the steps and the action, and it comes to you, but it doesn't come to you because you start there hoping it'll give you a feeling. I'm going to launch this membership because everyone is launching a membership, and I believe that launching a membership is going to make me scale, and then I'm going to be satisfied. I'm so satisfied, and I've met myself at the depths of who I am, and what I feel most drawn to create right now as a container is a membership that's going to hold my people. This is exactly what I'm going to do with it. Because the moment that you hit a wall and people aren't signing up the way that you intended it to, if it's not anchored into a feeling, it collapses. It's like, oh my gosh, I didn't expect this. I thought 1,000 people were going to join right away. But when it's not that, what do you have to hold on to? You have the reason that you started it. Meeting yourself in the Delulu magic land of who you are, the depths of who you are, the depths of why you're doing this. This is why I don't actually believe that the market is ever going to be super saturated, because I do think that people come in and they expect to grow exponentially overnight just by following the steps. But there is no frequency, and there is no energy, and there is no integrity. And for those people, it is very easy for them to hit the wall and be like, this was too much, I have to go. But for the person who is deeply anchored, the person who's listening to this and you resonate with me, you are a visionary, you are multi-passionate, you love this work, and you are willing to go into the Delulu magic land first before allowing the steps to reveal themselves. It's a very special kind of person. The person who enters mentorship and containers instead of like, all right, I made the decision, so what am I going to get out of this? And how quickly am I going to get what I want out of this? It's the decision itself. I've decided to be in mentorship. I already feel different. I'm so excited to see all of the ways that this is going to expand me. I'm so excited. I'm already feeling the shifts just by making the decision of joining your program. That is how I invest. And that is how my clients invest in working with me. It's like the decision itself of being here is like, I feel it already. What are all the ways? And you're looking at it from the lens of like, wow, what are all the ways I'm going to shift versus like, so are you going to tell me how I'm going to shift? Are you going to tell me what to do? What am I going to get? What can I get from this? Right? Completely opposite ends of the spectrum. Completely opposite ends of the spectrum. So scaling expands the truth of who you already are. That is why when I work with my clients, we don't just jump into the how. We jump into who you're being and what you're feeling and what you're experiencing, and getting you in that Delulu magic land that I'm going to be teaching inside this mini course. And then from there, then we can strategize. Then we can talk about your offers and the pathways and the price points and all the things that are going to bring your clients to you in the way that feels magical, because scaling is magical. You can't just double what you're doing. You're going to exhaust yourself and burn out. That's why there's so many. I can't tell you how many people hit this point, hit a wall and say, and then all of a sudden you see a post that says, I'm so sorry. I love you all. I'm not running this business anymore. I've decided to go back and get a day job. I've decided to do this and that. And I'm like, oh my God, if only you knew that there was a way that it doesn't have to be like that. Your business doesn't have to be pushing and forcing. Like we've been taught that money only moves if we push it or pull it. But money responds to our energy. Money is an energy, and we are energetic beings. So we get to call in. My daughter was sick for most of this week. And the last 14 days, 15 days, I've made over $10,000 in my business in sales. And most of it, we've been sitting on the couch watching Young Sheldon. Yesterday, we played volleyball outside for like an hour. I haven't worked as much this week as I intended to because she's been sick and I've had to take care of her. This is the business that I've built, is a business where I can spend time with my daughter. I can pick her up from school if she says that she's not feeling well. She ended up having a bit of a cold. And be able to sit with her on the couch and be with her. This is what I want. This is what I built this business for. This is what I desire. Right? And for money to still come in, and I'm not pushing, I'm not forcing, I don't do sales calls, I don't run ads. Like people just come through because they feel like they're called to. right? I don't send cold DMs, and I don't chase after people, and I don't follow up after people. I trust that people will lead themselves to me. I trust people, right? What I was saying about people earlier, like people don't do this, people don't do that, people don't buy courses, and people don't buy memberships, and people who? My people move. My people move because I trust that they will, because I trust that they're not ducks and squirrels that need to be told what to do. Like they're not animals that can't think for themselves. My people are some of the most intelligent people in the world. And I work with clients all around the world, globally, Taiwan and Spain and Australia and Canada, and all across the US and Mexico and across Latin America. Like there are so many beautiful clients that lead themselves to me when they're ready. And that's why when my clients come to me, they already feel the satisfaction in the decision, right? They're already ready to receive. That's why our mentorship is top notch, because it's not like, what can I get? And it's the same concept. When you're not like, what are the steps? What do I do? How do I? When you're not starting there and you're starting in Magic Delulu land and you're going, oh my gosh, I know who I am. I know what I'm here to do. I'm so connected to the spirit of my business. I'm so satisfied, and I'm leading with that satisfaction. I'm leading with that frequency. I'm leading with that personal power. It's not when I sign this many people, then I'll be happy. That's circumstantial, right? It's I am going to genuinely choose to anchor in and source this feeling of true satisfaction and true success. However that feels in my body. For me, I feel it in my sacral, like it lights up and it just shoots all the way up to my throat. And it is this excitement, it is this magnetism, and I feel it already. Because when I'm in that state, oh my goodness, there is a true connection to the spirit of my business that's like, all right, you're going to launch a membership. You're going to call it the Chamber, right? And then a couple of years ago, it's all right, you're going to start a mastermind. It's going to be called Magic Mind. You're going to run it for 6 months at a time, and eventually it's going to be a year, right? Right now, my mastermind is a year long. So I'm going to have these downloads, but only when I'm connected and plugged into that space. So then when I go and launch and I go and sell, and if I decide to run ads one day, right, then it'll be from this place of like, okay, let's play, let's experiment. I'm already satisfied. It's not going to be like, okay, how many people clicked on the ads? Okay, let me check again. Okay, something wrong. I need to fix it. Okay, something's wrong. I need to fix it. The people aren't signing up. What's going on? Like, there isn't that energy because I'm already satisfied. I'm not waiting for someone to tell me. When a client signs, I'm not like, oh my gosh, thank God, woo, thank you, my goodness. I was really worried there for a second. I'm like, of course you want to jump in. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I'm so excited for you. I know what this means for you. I know how big of a decision this is for you. Let's go. I am anchored. I'm grounded. I know that I'm the best mentor for my people. I trust that. Right? And I'm already there. And so when I'm scaling, my business is scaled so much, and it's scaling even more exponentially. It's scaling what I already feel. It's scaling who I already am. It's not scaling and then I'm going to become a different version of me. It's I choose to be this version of me now, and that's what scales. I choose to be in the satisfaction, the joy of it now, and that's what scales. I'm not scaling because this is the difference between starting with the energetics and the Delulu magic and starting with like, what do I do it? How do I do it? Someone's launching a membership. I should launch a membership. Someone's launching a course. Maybe I should launch a course. This person scaled doing it this way. I'm going to follow this exact steps, right? When it's not that, and it's you in your own magic and your own secret sauce that the spirit of your business has chosen you to do, you're not looking around. You're not looking at other people's content and going, oh my gosh, am I missing something? Am I doing it wrong? This is why so many people make a lot of money and they're still feeling so unfulfilled. This is why so many people, they're doing really well and they hit a wall and then they burn out, right? This is why, and I've seen it ever since I've started my business. Months into starting my business in 2020, I was already working with 7-figure entrepreneurs. Like, I have gotten this, and it's obviously evolved and grown, but this is the world of energetics. This is the world of the Delulu magic, okay? And we have done it in the traditional old paradigm sense. We're ready for the magic. We're ready for the energetics. We're so ready. We're so ready to magnify satisfaction. We're so ready for money to come in overflow without us having to like check and did they buy yet? Oh my gosh, they didn't buy yet. And I sent the invoice. Okay, my ads, how is this performing? Okay, I don't know. If I stop doing this, are people still going to come in? I have to send cold DMs and I have to do this and I have to do this. That is still in the masculine, starting with the masculine of like the steps, and then I'll feel something. But the problem is when it's always contingent on something happening, you're only happy when clients sign, or you're only happy when the results come through. It's circumstantial. It's not actually personal power sourced from within you. You're actually magnifying what's not working. And this is where we see people keep trying to tweak it and add more and do more and force it. More ads and more spend and more launching. Maybe I just need to launch more. Maybe I just need to tweak my messaging. Maybe I just need to post more. Maybe I just need to be more consistent. We've got people thinking that they need a more consistent content plan to make more money. Money is energetic. It responds to you and your energy. So if your energy is like, only if I do this, then I can feel this. Then money is like, okay, only when you feel that, then I'll come in. But if it's like, I am inherently worthy and money comes and pours onto me every single day, regardless of if I'm doing this or not doing this, if the result comes in, if the result doesn't come in. Like I mentioned earlier, most of this week, my daughter was sick and home from school. I had to move so much of my work around. And still money is pouring in every single day and people are joining the mini mind, which is starting today, by the way. Like there are so many beautiful things that are happening that isn't because I have my pulse on it. I have my finger on it. I'm tweaking it and forcing it and shifting it. It's like, I don't have to do that. I don't have to do that because I'm scaling exponentially. And I believe that the scale happens exponentially because I believe that I'm not just starting in this land over here where it's like, what's the steps? Tell me what to do. How do I do it? I'm not just hoping the action will give me a feeling. I'm already in the feeling. So by the time I get there, the correct aligned action steps reveal themselves to me. And that is why I don't have to hunt people down. It's why I've never run ads. It's why I've never sent a cold DM. It's why I don't do sales calls. I don't need it. I don't need it in my business and I don't desire it because I am working in energetics first. I am a master at this. And that is what I do with my clients. This is the work, the frequency in which you're in. And then when you're in that state, you will receive. You will receive the next action steps. But you're already there, so you're magnifying the feeling of satisfaction. You're magnifying the energies of joy and of conviction because you're already there. You're not hoping it'll give you something. You've already gone to the depths to source it from within. You already accessed the treasure, right? So this is what we're talking about inside Energetics of Scaling. You can DM me the word energetics. I will send you the link in your inbox. We're gonna be starting in 2 weeks. I'm so excited about this mini course and I'm gonna be teaching it across multiple modules. There's a Facebook group that you can join and it's going to be magnificent. It really is going to be a course. And my intention is that you jump in and you move. You jump in and you move into the mastermind. You jump in and you move into one-on-ones, right? If you're feeling the call to move today, I have a mini mind starting today. You can join us today and be on a call with me this afternoon. There's also a one-on-one call included. However you move, I want you to take action. I want you to move in the way that you are feeling called. The worst things that we can do is stay stagnant and not do anything and continue to be right where we are, right? This is all about movement. The ocean is constantly moving. There's wave after wave after wave. I want you to catch that next wave. And I'd love to see you inside Energetics of Scaling. You can DM me Energetics for the link. It'll also be in the link in my bio. If you're listening to this on the podcast, it will be in the show notes. And I will see you all very, very soon. Thank you for being here. Mwah.